All right. We all set?
Does Celia see us? There we
No.
go.
Oh, there
Here
we
we
go.
are.
Perfect. Hey!
How's it going? So we are here. Oh, I think it stopped again, but it should start back up again. So we are here
Okay.
with Aly Robertson. So Aly, thanks for coming on tonight to do a Facebook Live.
Thanks for having me.
So why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself, your company, the company that you work for, also Hitched Productions.
Okay. So hey guys, I'm Aly. I work for
Wait, let's
Aly
pause
Robertson.
one. Let's pause one quick. I can hear myself on Cecilia's cell phone.
Is it turned off?
You can hear himself on your phone, Cecilia.
I'm getting rid of it.
Okay, she turned it off.
All right. So yeah, we have show your special guest to the crowd,
I have a special guest with me. Hi.
Cecilia. So okay, sorry there. All right. So Aly, why don't you start again? So yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself, your company, the company you also work for.
Awesome. So hey guys, my name is Aly. I have my own studio, Aly Robertson Photography. And then I also work for Tyler Boy and Hitched Productions based out of the Bluebell area, Montgomery County. So yeah, I mean, I've been doing this since about 2012. I've been with Hitched and Tyler since about 2020, so about 2 years now. Yeah.
Awesome. So tell me, so you have your company, but also Hitch Production. Is that a part of Tyler Boy Photography?
Yeah. So Tyler is the owner. He has been doing this for ever.
Yeah.
I don't actually know how long he's been doing this, which sounds awful, but yeah. So Tyler's the owner, and then when he wanted to branch out and build an associate program, he built Hitched Productions, which is who I also work for.
Yeah, awesome. So with Aly Robertson Photography and with Hitched Production, you hire a lot of assistant second photographers. What do we got going on? Is Cecilia falling off the table?
No.
Oh, I hear a lot of noise in the background.
Sorry, there's probably a car going by. I apologize.
Gotcha. So yeah, with your own company and also with Tyler Boyd Photography and Hitched Productions, what do you mostly hire? Do you hire a lot of assistants, second photographers, lead photographers?
So for Hitched and for Tyler, I'm hiring a lot of assistants and second photographers mostly. It's a very, very rare case when we have to hire an outside lead that isn't already part of our team to cover something. And usually that's in like an emergency situation, which Shoot With Me is great for.
Yeah, that's awesome. So when you are doing hiring and when you're vetting assistants and seconds, what are you mainly looking for when you do that? So if you're like looking at their, somebody's profile, their portfolio, if you're hiring somebody fresh and it's the first time you're looking at them, what sort of things like stand out for you, and what do you look for in somebody you're looking to hire?
Yeah, I mean, so for when I'm hiring an assistant and when I'm hiring a second, it's a couple different things for each of them, just to match what it is that I'm specifically looking for. So for assistants, I want somebody that has some sort of experience in photography, whether they're just starting out or I've never picked up a camera before. I'd like them to at least sort of know what's going on. If you've attended a wedding, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Usually that's like the bare minimum. And like, even if you haven't had any experience in this stuff, just communicate that well beforehand with me so that I can, coach you on what's going to be expected of you. If you have experience and for our assistants, it's a lot of carrying bags, setting up lights, holding a reflector, making sure that your lead stays hydrated.
Yes. Snacks.
Exactly. So just, little things like that. So if you know your way around the gear and, understand light, I can trust you to take this reflector and bounce some light in for me, and I know it's going to be okay. But again, if you don't have any experience, that's totally fine. I'm happy to coach somebody through that. Yeah. I just need to know beforehand. So a big thing that I look for, I guess, would be communication. and just making sure that we're all on the same page about everything. And for second shooters, obviously communication still goes, but it's like a step up from there. I want somebody that, has a little bit more experience and can show me, some solid groom prep, some solid alternative angles for things, and that isn't going to necessarily feel like the second lead and need to be right over my shoulder capturing the same angle. I want somebody that I can trust to go somewhere else and capture an alternate angle and still make a great photo.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you ever have it where you bring somebody on as a second and as an assistant, and they show a lot of aptitude and skill and stuff like that, and they work their way up into a second photographer role?
Absolutely. And that's how we prefer it, honestly. Because then, we've sort of trained you into what it is that we're looking for our studio, because every studio is different.
Yeah.
But then you sort of already have an understanding of how we work and how we like to do things. So you're already familiar with our workflow and how all that's going to happen. And then you can work your way all the way up to a lead with us. That we prefer that. We have an apprenticeship program specifically for that. We love when that happens.
That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. Because if somebody's, because we hire assistants and we hire seconds, and with Morby Photography, all of our associates and leads were second photographers at one time.
Right.
And so when somebody, and obviously every single company is different, which you kind of mentioned already, but what are some best practices when you're shooting for another company? So assistants, seconds, and leads, they're representing the name of somebody else. So
exactly.
It's a big responsibility. So to somebody that's just starting out or is consistently shooting for other people, what are some things that you think are super important to show an accurate representation of the company that you're shooting for?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is communication. It's always going to come back to that.
Yep.
Communication. So there's a lot of things that you need to ask the people that are hiring you. Number one would be dress code. Everybody is very different. Yes, you are physically representing my company when I'm not there. So I need to make sure that you're going to be dressed appropriately. For some people, they require all black, dress slacks, the whole 9 yards, black tie attire, essentially.
Yeah.
And then there are other people where black jeans and a nice button up is fine. You just need to make sure that you're on the same page. It's better to be overdressed than underdressed, always. You just want to make sure that they're not going to show up in sweats and think that that's cool.
Yeah.
The next thing I think would be style. So having the ability and knowing off-camera flash is great. Some studios use off-camera flash for everything, from prep all the way through to reception. Some studios don't break it out unless they need it. Some studios, don't use it at all. So if you know that, if you're comfortable with off-camera flash, that's great. You just need to communicate with the studio that's hiring you to find out what their expectations of you are. If they're a studio that uses flash all day long, you need to know that ahead of time so that you're prepared and can meet that standard.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's because it is important to not only want to be them to think you're a good fit, but also to be a good fit. Looking at a lead or a studio's portfolio and saying, yeah, I can deliver what they're delivering. Because when you deliver a gallery to a client, you don't want it to be oh, this was taken by the lead. Oh, and this was taken by the second.
You want it to be consistent across the board.
Yeah, consistent, seamless set. So I want you to travel back in time for this question here. So imagine you are just starting out, right? And you're getting hired to assist or second. So with Hitched Productions and Aly Robertson, how many weddings combined are you guys doing a year?
So this year on the roster for me personally, I'm shooting 85 weddings.
Wow, good for you. That's why you're out celebrating Cinco de Mayo.
Yes, this is my one whole weekend off. So that's why I was like, yeah, sure, it's a Thursday. I'm not doing anything this week.
Thursday, yeah, right. So you got, it's a couple hundred. So you have that, but so and
the studio Hitch Productions does about 200 to 250 with just associates alone. That doesn't account for what Tyler, and he usually picks up another 15 to 20.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's a lot. I'm doing a lot, and we have just sort of embraced Shoot With Me as it's come out, and we have a roster of people that work with us. Obviously, most studios do, but sometimes the people that are our consistent people can't meet the demand that we have. Obviously, so that's when I turn to Shoot With Me to say, hey, who else can I find to fill these dates that I know I can trust to represent not only me, but the company as a whole? Who do I know is going to do a phenomenal job, not just in the work that they deliver, but in their personal presentation of our brand when they're there?
Yeah. Work is important, but how you carry yourself is just as.
It's so much more. I wouldn't. I mean, I say that I wouldn't care, but like, if you turned in mediocre work to me, but you were phenomenal and my couple couldn't stop raving about you all day and said that you were so great to work with, you made them so comfortable, that is gold to me. Totally. That almost means more.
Totally. Yeah. At the end of the day, people will say, you did such a good job. And I'm like, well, you haven't seen a single photo. How do you know?
Right.
Okay. So back to the travel back in time question. So okay, Tyler Boyd, 250 weddings a year. Like what, and let's say, your portfolio and everything caught their eye and they want you to start working for them. Like, what do you think is valuable about working for the same studio consistently? So like, if you came in and you impress them, and obviously you've done that because now you're, but like, what do you find is valuable, or what would you find valuable for shooting for the same company like over and over and over again?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's super valuable. Like I said, I've been shooting with them since about 2020, and I can't possibly imagine leaving. I just love it.
That's great.
Not only do I get to know the other photographers that I work with, we have things in common, like we're friends.
Yeah.
So I know how the other leads operate. So when I second shoot for them, I can already anticipate their needs and what they're going to be doing so that I can make sure I'm covering the opposite side of things. And that way we get a nice rounded coverage of the day. So yeah, I mean, you make friends with them, you sort of fall into a rhythm, essentially. You know what to expect. You already know what they want from you in terms of style, in terms of how to deliver things. Everybody's workflow is different. So like, we use Dropbox. I'm sure some of you saw me posting about Dropbox today. You know how to deliver your files.
Yeah.
You know what that finished product is going to look like. And you know that person is going to take your images and make sure that they're well represented.
Yeah.
Because there's always people out of left field that are going to take your images and turn them into something that's not what that was.
That's a little scary, isn't it?
It's a little terrifying. And like, to me, that was one of the biggest things that I was happy about working with Hitched, is that I know that my images are my babies.
Yeah.
Like, I put so much love and care into making those. I want to make sure that they're well presented and somebody's not going to put, a white vignette and selective color on them.
You don't want that?
God. But I know that they're well represented.
Somebody looking down at just black and white, looking down at red flowers with a nice white vignette. That's not still, yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I know that they're well represented. And that's one of the things that one of the first things that drew me to working for the studio, is that I know that they're going to take good care of my babies, essentially.
Yeah.
But then the people that I work with are amazing. They book the kind of clients that I like, which is another really important aspect. Everybody does in their career a one-off for somebody big out of New York City, or, some photographer that flew in from LA, and the clientele can sometimes just be awful. They are just not the kind of people that you vibe with, which makes having a good day and doing good work harder on yourself. If you don't vibe with the couple and your lead, you're just constantly fighting something all day. But when you're working for the same studio, what kind of clients they're
Yeah.
that are attracted to them, and you know that they're the kind of people that you're going to have a great day with.
Yeah.
You're going to want to be their best friend when the day is over, and it's going to make you doing your job and capturing really awesome images of them that much easier.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. And I didn't even really think about that as like when I look at our with Morby Photography, our leads and our seconds, and we become friends. We kind of become like a family. Like we see each other over and over again, and like we're living through life together. There's some people that have been second shooting with us for 10 years, 10 plus
Mm-hmm.
years, and yeah, they're good friends now. And I 100% agree with you with personality definitely is paramount. 'Cause
Yeah.
there's some weddings, if it's a super stressful wedding, I would much rather a good photographer with a great personality than a great photographer with like it's even if somebody's a
Shit
great
personality.
photographer, if you don't have that personality, it can be hard to get through the
Right.
day. Yeah. So
Right.
you want to get because wedding days they can be stressful. So you want to kind of have like a friend there that you can help get through the
Mm-hmm.
day with and laugh with
Yeah.
and all that
Somebody
sort
to
of
just
stuff.
vent to during your travel
Yeah.
5 minutes from one location to the next. Like, can you believe they said that? Can you believe they did that? Just so that you're not feeling so pent up about it.
Yeah. Totally. Totally. Well,
That's super important.
yeah. Well, thanks for answering a couple of the questions for us. So let everybody know. So where can they find you? So if they get a job request from Shoot With Me, where would that come from? And then also where can they find you like online or Instagram or any of that sort of stuff?
Yeah, so if you get a job request from me, I believe it shows up as Alexandra Robertson Photography, which is my full name. Please don't try to spell it. It's not going to end well. So yeah, if you see that, that's from me personally. If you see one come through from Hitched Productions, that's also me, and that would be for the studio. On Instagram, you can find me under A Robertson Photo. Really easy to spell, really straightforward. And then for Hitched Productions, you can find us at Hitched by TBP. And
Nice.
yeah,
Tyler Boy Photography,
I
Hitched by TB. Tyler Boy Photography, right?
TBP.
Yep.
Yep, TBP for photography. But yeah, I mean, I've worked with a bunch of you guys already, and it's been a great experience every time. And so I hope to work with some more of you guys soon.
Sounds great. Well, thanks for taking the time. All right.
Thank you guys.
Have a good one.